Hello ladies and gentlemen, this video will be about America, United States of America in the year 2025 and beyond. Many changes are happening to the country. I will be looking at the most important transits, the eclipses, and of course the horoscope of the president. So 2025 and beyond. So today I am discussing America. The next video will be on another country, Europe, and maybe also we'll be looking at Asia and as far as we can get. So I will be sharing my screen with you now so that you can follow up my reasoning. Okay, this is the horoscope of the United States of America, the one that is known from 1776, very smartly chosen, absolutely made by astrologers. 4th of July is the birthday of the United States, and this is also the day when the most powerful from the royal stars, Aldebaran, is heliacally rising. This is when we'll be seeing Aldebaran for the first time. And there is not even known more powerful star for power and money than Aldebaran, the star in the eye of the bull. So no doubt this horoscope was made by astrologers who knew not just any astrology but the most ancient astrology. They knew about the heliacal phases of the planets, and this is in the 18th century. So this is already impressing. So let's see further. Briefly, I will discuss very briefly the horoscope because I've been doing this several other times, and after that we'll be looking at the most important planetary positions. So you see the descendant is in the vicinity of the 15 degrees of Taurus, where you have Aldebaran, and also on the day of the heliacal rise of Aldebaran. And you can see America has Amulets, the most powerful planet in the horoscope is Saturn, and he, for this daily diurnal chart, is absolutely not badly placed. He is in his own triplicity, in his own elemental sign. He is forming grand trine with Uranus and Mars, and also with Pluto. This is also a smart move of stability, let's say, to certain cycle of time. And also Saturn is on midheaven, which makes him the most prominent planet in the horoscope. And because this is a daily horoscope, Saturn has been giving so far power and money. Also the Sun is like exalted, I don't say exalted, but like exalted in Gemini. You have Jupiter and Venus also in Gemini. This is not perfect placement, certainly not, because Venus and Jupiter is invisible. When Jupiter is invisible, oftentimes, according to Hermes, this is associated with low morals actually. Jupiter is ruling the 5th house of the horoscope. He is also ruling the 2nd house of money, and Jupiter is invisible. We see eventually lack of morals. This is not my wording. This comes from texts of very ancient origin. Also, Mars in the horoscope is fallen. This is the ascendant ruler, and Mars is invisible in the horoscope, which actually is a weak point of the horoscope. But the moon is very powerful in the 6 degrees of Aquarius, and this is quite near the one of the 4 royal stars, which is Fomalhaut, the star of the spiritual guru. And also we see the placement of the Sun is in the vicinity of Castor, one of the 2 great twins, which is also point of power, but in terms of communication, actually spirituality also, surprisingly, to some degree. And then you have the 2 lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu, placed on the axis of third and ninth houses. Ketu is in Capricorn, who is responsible for the past incarnations, and Rahu is in the ninth house. And the ninth house in the mundane astrology is so much related to international relations, and this is also where the emphasis of the politics of the country is, let's say. So on the ascendant we've got Antares, the star of the army leader, very powerful, and also actually you can see that the power which this horoscope receives is not from the planetary positions, but from the stellar positions, and not just stellar positions, but the stars which have royal energy, royal powers. Saying this, we'll not look more into the planetary positions, but we'll be looking at what is going on now. Now, as we see, America is in a planetary cycle of Rahu. I noticed that when countries undergo Rahu cycle, they really have difficulties, because we all have collective karma. It is not only our personal karma, but it is also the collective karma. I mentioned in previous video how we in Bulgaria suffered 500 years of Ottoman rulership only because we betrayed our Bogomils, which were our spiritual masters. We betrayed them, we killed them, and we earned 500 years collective karma of Ottoman suppression. So nations do have karma similarly like the individual persons, and when a country is in a phase in a planetary cycle ruled by one of the two lunar nodes, this is also always difficult. If you remember previously, I made a video on the war in Israel and Palestine, and I told you 2 days before the war started, it was October of a year ago, I told you Israel entered 20 years cycle of Rahu. And Rahu was very challenging in the horoscope of Israel. Rahu is less challenging in the horoscope of United States of America. Less challenging, but still Rahu is challenged already by default. So this is the situation. So let's see what is going on now. Now, first of all, a Rahu cycle. Where is Rahu? In the ninth house. And when we look at predictive placements, of the planets for predictive purposes, Rahu is automatically moving into the 8th house. This is already very challenging. Rahu is in the 8th house. This is really challenging in the country. Now in 2025 we'll run Rahu, and then the second ruler of the cycle will be Mercury. Mercury is also in a peregrine position, absolutely weakened, denoting very little, and Mercury is invisible. Not really. This Mercury cycle will be, we can only give financial weakness of the cycle, but certainly will not give financial gain because of his position. Also, what is further happening? Something very important. On the 30th of April, according to the placements in the sidereal astrology, the lunar nodes are changing positions. Ketu comes in Leo, look, 9th house, and Rahu comes in the moon house of the horoscope of United States of America. And if you go 18 years ago to see what happened, we will not have exactly the same events, but a little bit of resemblance. But anyway, this has to do with the moon sign of the horoscope of the country, and this is very important. This is the 3rd house. It will be certainly related to well, 3rd house, of course, is knowledge. It is trade. We may have affliction, further heavy affliction of the markets and economy, because the eclipse's axis is here. There will not be big emphasis on international relationships, because there will be too many local challenges also because the eclipses are taking place on this axis. So telling you that on the 30th of April the lunar nodes change signs, we will be still having 4 eclipses. And we have 14th, 15th March, we have the first lunar eclipses, which is happening on the 29th degree of Leo, 29 degree Leo, 29 degree Aquarius. This is the sign where you have the moon. And then 29th of March, the second eclipse is happening, the solar one, in the 14th degree of Pisces. And with this automatically, we have square to Mercury, a square to Jupiter, and a square to Venus. It is a square to the planets in the 7th house, which is automatically, this is the 7th houses are actually these are our visible enemies. This is the business. These are partners. And we're having tension here. Then in September you have the solar eclipse on the 7th of September, which is happening on the, let's see, this would be 2nd degrees of, this would be Pisces. No, excuse me, this will not be Pisces. So on the 7th of September, it will be in the vicinity of the moon, actually, 2nd degree Aquarius. See, this is another hit on the trade, communication, and commerce and markets. On the 21st of September, the eclipse is happening on the 4 degrees of Virgo. 4 degrees of Virgo. You see, this is the midheaven of the United States of America. 4 degrees Virgo, you see. This is hit on the government and the rulership. This is what is happening. Now we have further very important changes, and this is nothing new. Maybe I will repeat myself, or maybe other astrologers. We have return of Pluto. Pluto is in his original position, and this is so important also because Pluto is conjoined Ketu, the lunar node, the tail of the dragon, which is responsible for the past, for the collective karma, the past, what the people in these lands earned from their previous actions or their ancestors. So we have return of Pluto with who in the horoscope in the States is conjoined Ketu. This is already change of the social system, but this change happened already. I mean, this started, the beginning of this was already in 2021, but it will be furthered also in 2025 because Pluto will create sextile to Neptune and Saturn in Aquarius, in Pisces, and to Uranus in Taurus. So this will be 12th, 13th of July. And when you see even harmonious aspect between trans-Saturnian planets like Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, this is not necessarily good, because when we had the French Revolution, it happened with a good aspect between them. So this is revolutionary already. The summer in the United States will be like mark for future revolutionary shift of the social system, very big. Also see, this is Saturn and Neptune will make opposition to the natal Saturn. And let me tell you, when there is Saturn, and when Saturn receives opposition as a transit, Saturn from the natal horoscope receives opposition from the natal Saturn, you see already completion of his mission. And Saturn is, you see, in Virgo in the 10th house, he is Almutant, so we're talking about major shift in the social system of America. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about change of the rulership. Remember, I told you before that the solar return of Donald Trump is not good. That's why I was not very sure if he will become president. I was not very certain because of the bad solar return which he has. This solar return is not giving longevity of presidency, or will give very, very difficult, even unsuccessful presidency. And now you see how Saturn will make opposition to his natal Saturn with Neptune. This is big. This is shaking of the rulership power of the kingship, and this is specifically seen in the summer 12, 13, 14, 16, July, and after that. So this is one very, very important thing. In addition, on 18th of June of 2024, Uranus entered Taurus, and with this America also has Uranus return. This is big. Can you imagine Pluto return and then Uranus return? I can't emphasize enough how big this is. Like America is not America anymore. It's something. It's another country. So Uranus now, as we speak, is retrograde. He is in Aries. Sorry, he's in Aries, and on actually he's in Aries. For February he becomes direct again, for February, and on 9th of April he is entering Taurus again. On 9th of April, listen what is happening. On 9th of April, Uranus enters Taurus again, because when he was retrograde he went back into Aries. But on 6th of April Saturn is entering Pisces, and Saturn is visible. On 30th of April Saturn becomes visible, and there will be sextile between, almost exact sextile. On 9th of April you will be witnessing almost exact sextile between Uranus, Mars, and Saturn. Mars will be in Cancer, which is you see 8th house. Uranus will be in the 7th house, and Saturn will be in the 4th house, and they're forming B sextile. 9th of April, almost exact. They will be missing only half degree or 1 degree. This is big. This involves partnership, businesses. This involves housing, homeland security, and this is involving international relationships and banking. And you will see, and trade, and you will see bisextile, which is not benevolent. This is furthering the change in the social system as we know it. I have a previous video, a recent one, I think from November, when the video I find most important video on my channel, because I worked very long to make it. This was a video on it was called like are we going to be able to make money again, and there I'm mentioning about these changes in the social system, and you will see how much they fit the horoscope in the States, because if there will be really change in the social system, very visible, it will be first happening there, because it is so visible in the horoscope. So this is in April. Then you have eclipses on the axis that I told you, and then in July you're having this conjunction between Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and at the same moment Pluto will be making sextile. This is big, big, big. This conjunction will take place in the which degree was this? This was the 7th degree. 7th degree, and the natal Pluto at that moment will be also in the transiting Pluto will be exactly returning to the natal Pluto. So you have in the natal horoscope Pluto in the 7th degree Capricorn. The transiting Pluto in July will be in the 7th degree Pluto, and in the same moment this conjunction between Neptune and Saturn in Pisces for the horoscope of America will also be in the 7th degree. What is this, ladies and gentlemen? Big revolutionary shift. Let me tell you, in my previous research, I mentioned this in 2 previous videos because it is important. When, even if we don't look at Pluto solely, conjunction Saturn, Neptune historically brought important changes to the world, revolutionary changes. Great French Revolution took place, Neptune, Saturn conjunction. Fall of Berlin Wall, Neptune, Saturn conjunction. Great Wait, I tell you, I have the list. Great. It was in the war, Anglo-Egyptian war. Imagine, Great Smoke of the UK. Also, you see, polio, 1952. So major revolutionary for the human race events, and this is squaring the natal sun of the horoscope, and is repeating the degree of Pluto and also of the moon. So you cannot imagine how busy, little to say, how shifting the year 2025 will be for America. Very, very big. Take the eclipses, take Saturn and Neptune conjunction, take the ominous repetition of the one of the eclipses taking place on midheaven of America. It will be really very big. Very big. And we can briefly look how this is influencing the horoscope of the president, because when you look at the country, it's never enough to look only at the horoscope of the country. We need to look at the horoscope of the president. So the horoscope of Trump. Now, first of all, eclipses on his ascendant descendant. Let me tell you, you have the first eclipses are okay far from the axis of his ascendant, but like I mentioned to you, the in previous videos, the danger for his life is not uplifted from his head, if I may say it this way. It is not. He's still in danger, and I can tell you on 4th of February Uranus will be direct, and on 9th of April he's entering Taurus again to touch his midheaven on 9th of April. In the meantime, Mars is making very strange movements, and he will have Mars return starting as of 8th of June. So first of all, the spring will be challenging for him. I think the danger is not absolutely he's still his life is in danger. In the beginning, as I told you, on the 30th of April, the lunar nodes move into Leo Aquarius, and he has ascendant Leo, descendant Aquarius, and Ketu will be on his ascendant, Rahu will be on his descendant. And also, one of the eclipses is happening. I was looking which one is happening. Actually, he doesn't have exactly repetition of some of the degrees indeed of the eclipses, but still Ketu on his ascendant, Rahu on his descendant is not benevolent period for him. And as I told you in when we were looking at the elections, he has very challenging solar revolution horoscope. Very challenging. So the first eclipse, the lunar one, 29-degree Leo, his ascendant is in the 6th. It's not so much afflicting him, but it is afflicting his sun by square. The eclipse is afflicting the sun. So March is challenging for him very much. Then in Pisces is the second eclipse on the 29th of March, and the third eclipse of 7th of September is not directly afflicting him, but it is again on his ascendant descendant. And then we will have Uranus 7 years. He has Uranus return as what Uranus 2, because he has Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus will be 7 years in Taurus. And like I tell you, on the 9th of April he's entering again his midheaven. And remember, when they tried to kill him, Uranus was again conjoined his midheaven, which is conjoined the star Algol. So difficult for the president, difficult for the country. This is collective karma. The only thing that can be done, in such cases is to be very people to be really to be collective, to act as one, which is typical for the era of Aquarius. We are at the entrance of the year of Aquarius, which means that The collective matters, the collective energy, caring for each other, uh, being very spiritual. What can I tell you? Being very good, because God is good. God is forgiveness. Being very good people, empathic, moral. This is the thing. So interesting 2025. I wish you all the best. I wish you great year ahead. It is possible, even though the events will not be very easy, it is possible to have good year, because we're creating our reality. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you good 2025. Bye bye.